Do want to mention to you that we do have a different counter on this machine in comparison to your other machine, and it is just because that Durant Ambassador counter that has been used by Pace for nearly 30 years is no longer on the market. So we've had to move to a different counter. This counter is very simple. It's programmable, a lot like the Durant. One difference is this counter does not have a rate. It's not displaying a rate anymore. It only displays your current count, and it can do the batch counting features if you are using a takeoff unit and conveyor. I'm going to reset this with the reset key right here. So that top line is your current count. It's currently set to count in footage. You can see there's a decimal point, so we're counting in tenths of a foot, which could be pretty handy. The bottom line, the green line right now, that's our preset count. And you would change this by pushing this right arrow key. See that digit is flashing. Sorry, left arrow key. Go over to the digit you want to change. Up and down arrow keys to change it. I'm going to make this somewhat of a low number here. 20. Excuse me. Go back to this. Zero this out. Push the mode button, MD, to set that number in. Similarly, I'll show you that this is set up for batch counting, so this is set to 1. That's your batch counter. Basically, we're going to do one roll at 20 feet. And that's just how this thing works. You want this BA button pressed. This has to read 1. If you set that for 2, it's basically going to scroll right past the first roll and then run the second roll as well. You're going to get a total of 40 feet, but you would get 2 counts of 20. And I can explain that more if you need, give me a call. But basically you want to be, for most part, in this MD mode, and you set this bottom line to be your preset count, whatever amount of length of parts you're trying to get on your roll or footage you're trying to get on the roll. I'm just going to give you a demonstration here. I'm going to back off a bit, run the machine. It's counting up to 20. A little bit of overrun, of course, due to deceleration. It's hard to see probably, but that yellow light is on. The counter has stopped the machine. You can see these lights here also came on, signifying that the outputs of the counter have been triggered. I'm going to reset it now. Those lights went out for the outputs. We're back ready to run at a 0 count. Now, if you want to change the scaler on this, the formula is the same as your other machine for figuring out what your count scaler will be, but you press and hold this button for 3 seconds, MD button. When you see this window, you're now in the programming. Basically, keep tapping on the MD button until you get to the scaler. It's a scalar decimal point. Here's the scaler. This is where you would enter in the value you want to use for the scaler. So it's basically however many eighths of an inch or gear teeth are in your part, and you take 1 divided by that number. So for 1 foot, it's 1 divided by 96, and then you round it down to this, 0.01042. Of course, I'm always available. Give Nick a call, and I can help you. Press this mode button for 3 seconds to leave the programming, and we're good to go.